Welcome back to A Soul Purpose Short, and today the word is surrender. And I'm going to pull on a couple of readings, one from a Newfoundland puppy, not a horse, but it was talking about surrender, and I just felt like this was an interesting take on surrender. Normally when we think of surrender, we think if you give up, you let go, you give over to whatever else is happening. But according to Newfoundland puppy, not so much. In human form, a calling is often labeled and diluted as something that has an end result to it. In the instinctual world, the calling is never ending. As it calls, you follow. This keeps you moving forward into the unknown, and as you travel through this unknown, you surrender your past. Then you will know yourself. I thought that was a really interesting take on surrender. So in this case, it's nothing to do with giving up or giving over to someone else or to something else or in any way letting go and losing. This is about knowing yourself. All that you really surrender in this instance, or a way to look at surrender, is surrender all the old ideas, the descriptions, the mask, the disguises, the labels that you've carried with you. So another way to look at surrender, and then this is from Marley. I've quoted from him before on acceptance, but this also includes surrender, and it was a beautiful way to look at it. And he says, I'm here to bring you to wholeness. You resist, preferring to rebel and react. This once worked for you, but no longer. Now it keeps you separate. Being separate from what your heart desires keeps you as you were. You have felt the call to become more in alignment with your heart, but you resist. Resisting is habitual. This battle is internal and will continue until you surrender to yourself. Once again, about surrendering to the self. Surrendering has nothing to do a lot in our lives. It's about surrendering to ourself, to our old image, to things that no longer serve us. It's about surrendering to who you are becoming. And one more quote is, when you align with acceptance, you become the dance of surrender. This is not the same as losing. Surrender becomes its own interpretation of individuality and power. It becomes a life of its own. And it is immune to outside influence. This is a safe place to be. It's interesting that he refers to surrender as being a safe place to be. Because normally as human, when we think of surrender, we define it in words or ideas of war. You surrender, it means you've lost. They've overpowered you, they've overtaken you. But according to the horse's perspective, when we're talking about surrender and moving forward in our life, it's actually a powerful place to be because the things of the past no longer have hold on us. So just a few minutes of ponder today about surrender from the instinct and wisdom, heart knowledge of a Newfoundland puppy and a Hanoverian. Thanks for joining me. If you'd like more information, truenorthequestrians.com. I'm Delea. Thanks.